Hi guys, I'm Madeline Harvey. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. We're going to talk about how to support some high notes. What do we need to do interiorly so that we can get the most strength, power, and projection out of our high notes? So if you like today's video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up or click that subscribe button below. I would love to see you here more often. And I just want to take this time to also tell you guys that we have launched vocal evaluations on our website. So if you find yourself needing some help, maybe you're preparing for an upcoming audition or performance, or maybe you've just been studying on your own for some time, but you'd like some feedback, then visit me on my website for more information, okay? So the video that you're about to see was taken as a clip from a live lesson that was shot earlier today. If you want to watch the entire live and participate in the exercises, then I invite you to click that join button below or the link provided and become a member of this channel. As a member, you'll have exclusive access to all of our lives that we do every Monday and Thursday at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. So again, just click that join button. It's only $4.99 a month, and your contribution helps to support our channel. That way we can continue to deliver awesome content for you. You ready to get started? Here we go. Oh, happy Monday. I hope you had a wonderful weekend and that your week is off to a fantastic start. I brought my best ruffles or floofs, they're more floofs than anything, for today's lesson. We're going to talk about how can we support these high notes? What do we need to do to be able to sing high notes with adequate support so that they grow in power and in strength? So I just want to say, I see that we have a couple of new members. So welcome. We're very excited that you're here. We do these lives every Monday and Thursday at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're hopeful that you'll be able to join us. Cool. Very cool. So, okay, our biggest takeaway today is a matter of connecting mechanisms with our mind. So when we talk about voice, we're trying to negotiate between some substructures, right? We've got a breathing mechanism. So these are your abs, your lungs, and your diaphragmatic muscles, just this general gist. Then we've got our laryngeal structure, so the muscles that are within the larynx that do their thing, and then our resonating spaces. So today, we're really gonna hone in on the relationship between breath and laryngeal structure. Okay, just wanted to lay out the image for you. That way you can connect those two in your mind. But we're really going to pay special attention to the diaphragmatic area. We're going to see, like, what does that mean? How do we breathe? How do we set up the breath for something like high notes? So if you've been with me for a little bit, you know that I'm really big into creating lung capacity. Now, if we talk about lung capacity, I want you to really use the image of a muscle that's just flabby, like hasn't been to the gym in a while. But we need the lungs to be sort of like a toned muscle. It isn't enough to say that we can take in a breath and then push sound or push breath at the sound. We need to be able to compress the air in the lungs. So we have to increase our lung capacity. So what we're going to do is we're going to get started with a little bit of straw work. To do this exercise, you don't necessarily need a straw. I like to use one just because it helps to keep my tiny lips in check. But I just want to reiterate that I really do recommend working with Sing Straw. I have, let's see, this is the Sing Straw Pro. Ooh, there we go, Sing Straw Pro. We've got a couple different variations of sizes for straws. This is all for lung work, for phonation exercises. So we've got I believe it's a 4 millimeter, a 3 millimeter, and a 2 millimeter. It just allows you to be able to vary the resistance on your breath. So I'm going to be using the 3 millimeter. I really like it. It's about the normal size of a drinking straw. It's kind of like a apple juice box straw. So we're going to take in 8 counts. Inhale, really feel the expansion at the bottom of the rib cage here. It just naturally happens when you're pulling in breath on the inhale. Then we're going to do 8 counts of an exhale. And we'll do this together for about 2 minutes. So let me set my metronome. Oh, that's not set right. If you're using a metronome at home, I like to really do this exercise about 76 or 75 beats per minute. Just really makes it a challenge. So that's that. You guys hear that okay? So we would breathe in for 8 clicks and then breathe out for 8 clicks. So let me keep that going. If you don't have a straw, just use your lips. Imagine that you're slurping a spaghetti noodle for 8 counts. Ready? Here we go. Very good, very good. Yeah. So even as I'm talking after doing an exercise like that, I have a lot more natural resonance because my lungs have become accustomed to full power on inhale. So now that's not to say that I'm going, that's not the kind of power we're talking about. We're engaging what's called the intercostal muscles, which pulls those lungs open, and then the abs and the intercostal muscles create that contraction on the exhale. It helps your lungs kind of tone. Like I used the metaphor of, like a flabby muscle. It helps them tone so that they get more injection of that power. They learn how to manage the energy a lot better. We see this very common with high notes. It all comes down to how we can manage our energy effectively. So we've got to first come into our practice with a little bit of that activation. That way those lungs are ready. They're ready to deal with a higher degree of pressure. High notes are higher concentration of air pressure and a higher concentration of that stretch for the cord. So I often call that like a cord tension. So here's where we get the second mechanism. So we have this mechanism here, which we just activated. You feel like it's ready. That's why I wore this shirt today, so you guys could see my lungs and you can't see my lungs, but you can see my ribs and all that good stuff. So there's an inhale, there's an exhale, so you can see that. Yoo-ho. So are the thick straws for low notes and thin straws for high notes? Definitely. When you get to the higher degree, the smallest straw in the Sing Straw Pro is so tiny. Very, very little singing can be done on that unless you're in the C6 category. Really, really, really high notes, but it makes them very, very easy just because there's that higher concentration of air. That was a really good question. So now we want to connect what we've done here. We've activated the lungs. They're ready. They're just ready to compress more air. They're ready to go. So now let's meet them with a nice open throat. So I'm going to encourage you to kind of do one of these today. I know one hand will be on the larynx and the other hand will be kind of on your center. Just sort of gently connecting those spaces in your mind. So we're going to take a moment and discover the open throat sensation here. So I just want you to observe a nice yawn, like holding open of the throat. So just hold that open. And take about 5 or 6 counts to just gently keep it open. So let's do that. Hold it open. And then relax. Good. So we've got to train this mechanism here, the throat, to associate that when you come into singing, you're going to include a sort of yawn sensation. Why? Because it opens the vocal tract. It makes sure that's nice and open, but it also stabilizes that vocal tract. So let's say you've got a lot of air pressure kind of coming up through the body. It's got to go through the neck without collapsing. So when you hold that yawn open, you're kind of stabilizing it. So let's see that. Go ahead and open your throat. Hold it. And give me a sigh. Just any sort of sigh on any note you want to. Make it normal. Ah! Yeah, as long as you're holding gently now, gently holding that throat open, your throat will be semi-stable. So let's go ahead and try it again. Open. Yeah, feel the lift from the diaphragm, created the sound, passed through an open throat, and voila. So let's give it a try. We're going to try relative high notes today, so we're not going to do much in terms of the low notes. We're starting at C5.